Well, let me see never had it before.
Ear infections, yeah.
Let me talk about, yep. Signs of ear infection? Okay. That might be a sign. How old is she?
14
Oh,
weeks,
okay.
grabbing her
So
ear.
she's probably on the early side to start teething, but kids can start teething as early as 3 to 4 months. And if they are teething and they're having stress in the jaw area, it can refer up to the ear. Many times I have adults coming in and they think they have an ear infection. They don't have an ear infection at all. It's actually a TMJ problem. So this joint and this whole structure is highly associated with what's going on in the ears. So that could be part of the problem. But typical symptoms of ear infections are, your baby starts waking up in the middle of the night screaming and they may be inconsolable. Maybe they're running a mild temperature, maybe they're not running a temperature. You may notice things associated with teething. Maybe they have more of a diaper rash. Their hands are in their mouth all the time. They may start drooling. They may have a little cough. Their nose might run. So, a cough, it could be. Because when they start to teeth and they have more saliva, they may start to cough because of the saliva that's kind of just dripping back there. So those are some of the differentiations between ear infections and teething. But typically ear infections, the parent's going to wake up in the middle of the night, their baby's going to be screaming, they may have a temperature. That's like a classic, ear infection sign. In terms of how chiropractic can help ear infections, as I said, the birth process could be traumatic. So you may have little misalignments in the neck. Now, interestingly enough, Lynn had asked me before, I think there was a child who was 1.5 that just had tubes put in their ears. Well, when you put tubes in the ears, basically all you're doing is rupturing the eardrum artificially with a tube to puncture a hole to decrease the pressure in the eardrum so that the fluid that's been building up in there can drain out. The problem is that you're never really addressing what's causing the ear infections to begin with. And many, many parents get on this cycle. It's like a merry-go-round with antibiotics. They're on the amoxicillin. 3 weeks later, they're on amoxicillin. Now it's not working. Now we're on Augmentin. And it's just like a roller coaster because nobody's getting to the cause of the problem. So when you look at what controls the function of the ear and the tube in the ear, the tube is called the eustachian tube. And the nerve that comes out from the first 4 vertebrae in the neck is actually the nerve that controls the muscle that surrounds that tube. So the muscle is called the tensor veli palatini muscle. It's controlled by nerves in the neck. That's the only thing that makes it function. So if there's stress on the nerve and it doesn't let the fluid drain, the fluid's just going to stay there. So it doesn't matter if you put a tube in the ear, which by the way is going to cause scar tissue and a whole host of other problems, but it's never addressing the problem because you're never getting that muscle to relax so that that tube can drain naturally. So when I take care of kids with ear infections, not only are we looking most commonly at the upper part of the neck and the mid part of the neck, we're looking at the lymphatic system. We're looking at whether those lymph nodes are, boggy and they're swollen. If they are, we need to drain them. We need to show moms how to do massage to drain them. There are natural ear drops that we use to help improve the environment in the ear. So they help with bacteria, virus, fungi. They help with inflammation. There's a lot of things that you can do naturally to not only avoid and prevent ear infections, but to treat them naturally to begin with. It's very, very simple. It's basic anatomy. And unfortunately, ear infections are probably one of the most common things I see in my office, just like medical doctors see in their office. And believe it or not, the most common thing that ER visits are for ear infections, which is kind of ridiculous. So, there's a lot of scare tactics. If your child has a couple of ear infections, they may say you better go to an ENT. You may need to start looking at tubes in the ears. You look at all the medical research, whether it's in the Journal of the American Medical Association, the British Medical Journal, they will all say, the medical doctors themselves will say, that antibiotics and tubes are not effective ways to treat ear infections because they're not dealing with the cause of it. But that's what they know, so that's what they do over and over and over again.